was great and the sound was not there. Somewhere along the line we forgot to turn it on. Did you get it on okay? Is the green light on? Yes? Thank you. Okay. We will try. I want to start you with the video today, if I could get your attention, and I'll explain the video to you after you see it. Some of you may have already seen it, but the explanation is important.
So they can cut the chain off the door, so they can't make us black.
We've decided we're gonna finish what you started, sir.
Yeah, so leave us be, coach. We got shit to do, sir. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We were all meant to shine as children do. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Sir, I just want to say thank you. You saved my life.
Thank you, sir. All of you.
Any of you ever seen that film before, Coach Carter? Let me give you the backstory and then I'll explain why I show it to you. Samuel L. Jackson, Coach Carter, is a graduate of Richmond High, inner city school. Basketball champion, holds scoring records, went to the championship, won the championship. He settles back in his hometown. They find out he's there and they ask him if he'll coach the team. And he said, well, I will under one condition. He says, I want all my athletes to sign a contract that they'll get good grades, because you know and I know by the time they graduate within a year, 60% of them are going to end up in jail or prison, and that's no way to live, and being a basketball champion without a future is not a future at all. And so all the kids except Timmy Cruz, the last one who gets up and does that solo talk, that's called a soliloquy, they all agree Timmy's the hard nut, but he comes around eventually. They go on a run, I think it's 10-0 or 12-0, and Coach gets the academic reports, and over half of them are failing. The coach is pissed. He gets his team together, he says, you made a contract with me, you signed an agreement, you gave me your word, and you know and I know you've lived here long enough to know when you get out of high school, if you don't have a future, you know where you're going to end up. So from now until your grades come up, I'm going to lock the gymnasium doors, no practice, no games. They're on their way to the States. He says, if you don't make it, it's because you didn't keep your word. He locks the gymnasium door. The kids are upset. The parents are upset, and they take it to the school board, and the school board's upset. Samuel L. Jackson says, you're not doing these kids any favor. Temporary fame is not like having success in life. Fame comes and fame goes away, and you're left with yourself. Well, the board votes to take the chains off the door. The coach says, fine, I quit. I'm not going to be a party to the failure of these young men. So when the video starts, he's just gone to the gymnasium, picked up the chain, put it in his box, and he's going to go through the gymnasium to the back where his office is and collect his stuff and leave. And he turns the corner. And what does he see? We decided to finish what we started, Coach. We got shit to do. You can leave us alone. We're going to finish our work. Quitting is easy. Just pick up your stuff and go. It's the easiest thing in the world. I've quit. Just pick up your stuff and go. Nothing hard about that. Persevering takes courage. To stay from beginning to end, to make a commitment to go from here to there and make sure you arrive there and you don't stop anywhere along the way. Your best day may be a C+ in my class. This is not about information, people. I'm going to give you information all day long in this class, but this is about learning. And when we talk about learning, I talk about more than just classroom understanding and facts and data. This is an opportunity in you in life to learn something beyond just the classroom. You will learn in the classroom. Every day you come through that door, you're going to get an A for the day. Your ability to keep it is going to determine whether or not you have perseverance, whether or not you have courage, whether or not you have the ability to stick it out. So 11 years ago, I used to have to write 2 essays for me. I had a young lady do weekly quizzes. She got A's on all her quizzes. I'm sorry, one of her quizzes she got a below A grade. Come on in, dear. She came into class. I gave her essay back. She didn't even look at it. She said, I think I'm going to drop this class. I said, really, why are you going to drop this class? She says, I've been an A student my whole life. I've never gotten less than an A, and this is the first time I've gotten less than an A. And I said, well, maybe no one's challenged you the way I have. And she just looked at me, and I let her look at me, and I said, by the way, here's your essay, and I gave it back to her. Now, it's 50 points for both essays, 50 and 50. She got a 53. It was a good essay. She's right. She's an A student. She just didn't bother to apply herself on one of my quizzes. She left the classroom. I went on with my business. 5 minutes later, she came back in. She put the essay on my table, and she says, you're making this really hard on me. And I said, no, I'm not, dear. You're making this hard on you. I said, it's obvious you're an A student. I'm asking you to apply yourself now. Prove your self-value. She sat down. She stayed the rest of the semester. She got a 93. Your deepest fear is not that you're inadequate. Your deepest fear is that you're powerful beyond measure. It is the light and not the darkness that frightens you. Oh, I don't know if I want to ask a question. I don't care what other people think, people. I care about what you think. There's no such thing as a dumb question in my class, just a question that doesn't get asked and therefore doesn't get answered. We're here to learn. I will say things every once in a while and it will be wrong and someone will correct me. I'm not perfect. So we're all on the same level playing field, aren't we? I am inviting you to let your light shine. I just need one. Because when you let your light shine, you automatically give permission to those around you to do the same. When you're liberated from your fear, your presence automatically liberates those around you from their fears as well. Welcome to Applied Ethics. Today we begin earnest in ethics. I said that backwards, didn't I? I just made a mistake. Today we begin ethics in earnest. And when I get to the end of this lecture, you'll figure out what I'm talking about. Any questions for me, people? Sorry about that. I promised you on Tuesday I was a provocateur. I provoke people to respond, to think. Like Morpheus said to Neo, I'm just trying to get you to open your mind, Neo. And hopefully that will be accomplished. Any questions for me? You ready? Anybody else ready? Okay, that's cool. This is not what you signed up for, is it? Oh my. Oh well. Today I want to talk about the principles by which we develop our theories by which we judge human behavior. To do that, we have to understand how reasoning works. We are reasoning animals, but here's the problem. We're born with the capacity, but we're not born reasoning. Little critters pop out of the oven, there's no reasoning about it at all. It was warm and now it's cold. It was dark and now it's light. If you were in there with a companion, I have a fraternal twin brother. You understand what fraternal twins are? 2 different eggs in the womb. He got the defective egg. When you meet him, you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. He's a very different person, but we had company in the womb. I had to kick him out early. I kicked him out 10 minutes early. He's taking up too much air. Kids come out and they're totally what we call emotive or emotional. They're designed to be that way. They're hardwired. But inside you is the capacity to reason. But reason takes time to develop. For example, I have a daughter. My oldest one is my daughter, and then I have 3 boys. The oldest boy lives out in Portland, Oregon. He's got 2 children. The oldest one is Parker. I don't know why he named him after a pen. He named him after a pen. He's a cute little boy, really bright, and he's got a strong will. And I go out there every Christmas. I'm out there at Christmas. I've seen him once when he was 1 year old. Now he's a little over 2 years old. And it's time for Parker to go to bed. They call me Poppy, and he hasn't seen Poppy all year, so he wants to spend time with Poppy. And he's cranky. He didn't take his nap. And my son's name is Jamie. He says, Parker, you need to go upstairs and put your jammies on. And Parker throws a fit. Now at this stage, he's not violent. He's just resistant. So Jamie sends him upstairs, says, put your jammies on. When you get them on, come downstairs, say goodnight, and I'll go up and read books with you. Well, you hear the argument up there. Parker's just having himself a private fit. Not doing any damage, just having a private fit. And suddenly it stops. Now I'm only around this boy twice. And I hear these little footsteps come down the stairs. And Parker comes out the living room, buck naked. But he's old enough now to realize he needs a fig leaf. And he walks out in the middle of the living room, and I'm sitting there thinking, okay, this is... And he's not angry. I mean, he's not growling. He's just standing there, you know, butt naked, you know, with his fig. And I go, so I look at my boy and I go, what's happening? So I don't know, I started this a couple of months ago. I said, really? And Parker's just standing there, you know, like... I said, how long does it last? He says, when he's done, he goes upstairs, puts on his jammies, comes downstairs, says goodnight, and goes to bed. And I thought, I don't know what he's thinking, but I know he's thinking. He's thinking if he comes downstairs naked and stands there, something might happen out of the ordinary. And that's how we start to reason. Somewhere along the way, we pop out of the oven and we realize there's more to life than crying, screaming, yelling. We have interactions. I'm surprised at 2 years old he's figured out the fig leaf. When you pop out of the oven, nobody cares. What a cute little darling. No one cares. In fact, I told my kids when it's my time to leave, I said, do not bother with clothes. I came without them. I'm going without them. I don't care. Makes no never mind to me. But somewhere in the middle, we've rationalized that we need to be walking around with some clothing on. I don't get it, but I don't have to get it. I don't want to get a ticket, so I get dressed. Now, if I didn't get a ticket, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole with you. So reasoning kicks in naturally. And somewhere along the line, we learn to use reasoning to solve problems, and some problems have moral implications. So I want a brand new car. What kind of car you want? I don't care if it's got to be cherry red, candy apple red. That's red. Other reds, that's more like orange. It's closer, but it's got orange in it, or it goes burgundy the other way, or it's got too much brown. Now, there is no moral reasoning to why I want a red car. But what if I want an eco-friendly car? What if I'm an environmentally sensitive guy? Then I begin to employ reasoning in a slightly different way. Now I'm directing it towards ethical thinking rather than standing in the middle of the living room for who knows why with my fig leaf on. So I want to introduce you to reasoning, people. Reasoning is very important. Oops. Moral reasoning considers certain kinds of reasons, that's to say moral reasons. It tries to arrive at the best moral reasons for acting, and as a result it aids in choosing the morally right way to act. In order to make those decisions, we need to incorporate what we call value theory. Value theory is that part of moral philosophy that focuses on questions about what is intrinsically valuable.